Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I am here to do an unboxing of some items that I picked up from Pression. Thanks to Planning with John, one of his videos I was watching, I think sometime last week, maybe even it was last weekend, I'm not sure. And I saw that Pressions had some awesome prices on a few items, so I hurried over there and I was lucky enough to get in on the deals. So let's see what I got. So it's Pression. On the back it says Happy Mail, by the way, but my address is on there, so I'm not going to flip it over. But it has printpression.com here, and when you open it up, this is what it looks like. PP Weeks, hashtag PP Weeks. Okay, and then he talked about this. It's like a plastic, but it's a matte plastic, so no glare. So this is what the front looks like, and then on the back there is a thank you note. Okay, and then I guess these are freebies for August, and it's foil, silver foil. And then this one for September. Very nice freebies. I think I can use this. I have ideas. Okay. So the items from Pression come in these little dust bags. And let's see what this first item is. Ooh. So I don't remember the names. Of course I don't. And they're not on the website anymore. If there's a packing slip in here, yes, there is. I can probably tell you the names, but I don't think these are available anymore. Okay, so this is the metallic personal wide rings. And these are my first Pression planners, by the way. So it's like a pink metallic. So personal wide is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, which is very close to 5 by 7, which is B6. So, and B6 is my sweet spot as far as I don't really like to go too much smaller. So, I don't know. B6 is just one of my favorites. A5 and B6 are my favorites. So, yeah, it's got a pocket here. It's got card slots here, and then a full pocket here. Then these like crisscross style secretarial pockets and a little card tuck spot here. I think that's what that's for. And then I don't know anything about ring sizes either. I'm not that picky. Really, I'm not. So yeah, the great part about this is this planner was $4.99. Okay. Everything that I'm about to show you was $4.99. Okay, so there's that one. Then this next one is, again, from the metallic line. It's ice blue personal wide rings. Same details, same features. It's got a pocket here. And it has 2 snaps, so once it gets a little bulky, you can let it snap out and have a little bit more room. So that's the ice blue metallic personal wide rings. Okay, let's see what else. Then we've got, this is the silver PP Weeks wide, but what I'm hoping is that I can use a personal size in this. I think a personal size can fit in here. Let's see. It might be a little big for personal size as far as the height. The width is fine. It's a little tall for personal size. I'm thinking, because I don't have a PP Weeks wide, but I'm thinking I can just put a personal size in here. I think John did that, and that's what made me go ahead and get the PP Weeks. So there's that one in silver. And then we have this one in blue. This is ice blue again, upside down. And it has, did I show the pockets in that one? It has the crisscross pockets here. It has this pocket in the back and a pocket here. I don't know, these are really nice. Okay, so this is my personal size planner from MLG & Co. This is my Christmas planner. And so let's compare size. So they're about the same height, if you can see there. This one is slightly more narrow, I think. Well, let's see. If I stand them up, it's about a quarter of an inch taller, I think. Yeah, it's kind of hard to measure them against each other like this, but they are comparable in size. So just this one has a spine on it. So let's see. I don't have much in here in the way of inserts. Let's see, I still have a folder in there, and then this poly folder. Okay, so yeah, this will fit. And you do have a little extra space, but if you have things hanging out of the top, or if you have clips on the top, that still gives you room and it fits in there nicely. So that will work great for personal size. So you could use this as a home planner. You could use this as a on the go. So yeah, that is that. So I'm gonna use this pretty as a poppy paper from the Paper Studio to make a folder for this. For me, it's a traveler's notebook. So I'm gonna make a folder for it, and I'm just trying to decide which paper I want to use. That's pretty nice. That's nice, but it doesn't go. Don't want to do stripes. Kind of like that. We may do these flowers. Those flowers are nice too. I'm trying to find something with gray, but that also has a little pop to it. So I had already pulled these flowers out. Let's use this one. I mean, it's a different metallic because this has rose gold, but I think we can get away with that. So if you have a digital die cutting machine, Cricut, Silhouette, there are templates on my website at scrapcraftastic.com that you can use to make a folder, but I'm going to do this one freehand. So basically what you do is double the width of whatever insert would fit in your traveler's notebook and add an inch. That is to determine the width that you need to cut your paper to make the folder. To cut the height, it's the height of the insert plus half of that. So, and you can kind of fudge those numbers a little bit as far as the height, but you do need to make sure you get the width right. I usually add about a quarter of an inch so that I can make sure my folder will wrap around the insert. If I put it over an insert, it will wrap around it. Okay, so let's get to it. 3 3/4 wide, so it will be 3 3/4 times 2. So plus a quarter plus an inch. So using the ruler, I would go 3 3/4 here. I need to add a quarter for my spine area. Then I need another 3 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 3/4 would be 7 3/4. Then I need to add an inch to that. So it's going to be 8 3/4, and that extra inch is for the tabs or flaps that fold to close your folder. You'll see once I do this. Okay, so 8 3/4 is what I need in width. And then for the height, it's 6 3/4. I'm not going to try and do this in my head, so I'm just going to say 6 3/4 plus let's see, 6 3/4, and then half of that. So I'm just going to cut it at 10. I think that would be good. So if it's 6 3/4, then I'll have about 3 1/4 inch pockets. So yeah, I'm just going to cut it at 10 to keep it simple. And do I need to add anything extra? No, I do not. And is this cutting straight? Let's flip it on this side. So my desk is not level, so I have a little issue. Okay, so those are scraps I can use somewhere else. All right, and if your paper is directional, make sure that you keep that in mind when you're trimming, so that you get things going in the right way. So then I'm going to take my scoreboard, and before I score, let's move this aside. I'm just going to go ahead and fold this in the center. Instead of trying to find the center, I'm just going to do a fold. Now, if you have paper that might crack, then you might want to do some scoring, but I don't think this paper is going to crack. It's not that thick. So then I'm going to put it on the scoreboard, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch on either side, and I'm putting it on the scoreboard with the 8 3/4 side at the top. So I'm going to score it 1/2 inch on the left, and I'm going to flip it over and score at 1/2 inch on the side that was the right, and so now the left again. So there's that. Then I'm going to turn it around with what side I want to be the top of my folder, and the pocket end on the right, top on the left. And then I am going to score at 6, and I'm going to go a little bit taller. The inserts are 6 3/4 for personal size. I'm going to go down to 6 7/8. So I'm just going to add 1/8 of an inch to it, just so that we can make sure that it is covering the inserts if we wrap it around. It's not going to hurt it to be a little taller because this notebook is taller anyway. Okay. So you can go ahead and fold where you scored at. So you can see what you're working with. So this is going to be the pocket. This center fold right here, we're going to cut out a small triangle. I used to measure this. I don't do it anymore. So where the two folds meet, the fold down the middle, the fold that makes the pocket, you're going to take some scissors or your cutting tool of choice and start where those two folds meet. And you're just going to cut out a small triangular space. So no more than that. Okay, about 1/4 of an inch down towards the bottom. So now we're going to cut the flaps off on our pockets. So these 2 1/2 inch scored pieces need to come off. And I'm going to also go ahead and miter where, again, where the folds meet is where I'm going to start. Right above that, I'm going to do a little triangular cut. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off this tab. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. A little angle right to where the score lines meet or the folds meet. And then cut slightly. I don't know why I'm so shaky today. Cut slightly on the inside of that score line. Then you're going to fold this up, make sure that it's clear. This side is clear of the tab. Same here. And that's why you cut a little on the inside of the score line to give yourself a little room. Now you can also cut right here where the pocket meets the tab or ends at the tab. You could miter right here so that when you glue down your flap, edge, you still have the full use of your pocket. Let me show you. So with this, if I just glue the tab side down like this, this is as far as whatever I put in here is going to go. I won't have the full width of my pocket for storage. But if I cut, I'm going to mark it. If I cut a little miter in it, then I'll have more room. So I'm just going to mark this so that I can see where it is. Again, you can measure all this. I used to do that, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to cut a small triangle out here to miter that. Like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just marking on the edge where the height of the pocket stops. So this is the edge of the pocket. I'm just kind of putting myself a little tick mark there to make sure I cut my miter in the right place. So I'm just going a little bit on either side of that mark. And I think the other side is a little bigger. This is why I used to measure it, so that they would be the same, but it's not that serious. Okay, so then now when we glue these down, you have the full use of the pocket. Now it also makes it a little weaker, but we're going to do something else to shore it up some to make it a little more sturdy. So we can leave it like this, glue these down, glue, let's see. So you could leave it like this, go ahead and glue these side pieces down, or you can make yourself a pocket on the inside. And actually you can make multiple pockets on the inside. Just depends on what you want to do. Let's see, I have this paper here that I had cut. I think we can use this. I don't want to go overboard and use, oh, it's the right width almost. Okay, so I don't want to go overboard and use something with more metallic on it. Okay, so we're just going to use something simple, a simple black and white pattern. And since that fits in there so well, I am just gonna, let's bring it up a little bit and mark where I need to cut it. And I'm gonna cut this piece. So this piece is the full width of this area and the height of this area. Let's see if I can find my mark. There we go. And I may need to trim a little off the sides. So we don't want it to go too close to the sides so that it bulges when we put the flaps down. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of the side. Just a hair. Well, a little more than a hair. Probably about 1/8 of an inch. That way when we fold the flaps, it still lays flat like that. Let's make sure we got enough room. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to fold this in half. With the pattern on the inside. Then I'm going to find the center of this using my mat, mark it. I'm going to take my 1.5 inch circle punch. I hope I can punch through the thickness of this with it folded like this. We'll see. Line that up, and I'm just going to cut a thumb hole pull area. So that's what it looks like. Okay. And then there we go. So this is what our photo would look like. You can decorate it here. Let's go ahead and put it together. So I'm just gonna, to make sure that I keep it in place, I'm just gonna paper clip the inside pocket. So now we'll have 4 pockets. Once you put it in the notebook, you'll have a pocket here, 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 and here. Okay. All right, so We could use wet glue. I think I'm going to use some score tape. Again, because I need to use it. And I'm going to use the 1/4 inch instead of trying to fight with the 1/2 inch tape. If you have 3/8 inch tape, it should work. So I'm putting tape on the edge of the flap because we want that part to stay down. So tape on the edge. And you could miter this top corner too, these top edges, if you want to. I might come back and do that in a moment. Just so that when you fold it over, sometimes it might hang. It doesn't hang, so I'm not going to miter it. But sometimes if your paper's not trimmed just right, it might hang over. It looks to be okay, so we don't have to do that. Okay. Again, you can use your bone folder to go in and burnish all your folds. I think these are pretty good, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna make sure this is lined up like it should be before I start adhering. And then I'm just going to remove the tape and fold these flaps over. Okay, and that is our double pocket folder. So let's take this off. You could go in and round corners if you want. I do suggest that you put a little punch right here. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully this punch works. So right in the fold, just like you have the little half circles there, you can do a half circle punch right on that fold. Let me put a mark so I can see where the fold is. That way it won't stress your paper on the elastics of your traveler's notebook. Won't be such a stress on the papers. The elastic will just sit right down in that punch. You just do a little something like that. Okay, hopefully you can see, and you can do it at the top and the bottom. Okay, so it's all ready to go in the notebook like so and like this. Now remember, these elastics are meant for a different notebook, size notebook. So, and plus when they send these out, you do often need to tighten them a little bit. So these elastics are not as tight as they would normally be. So I would need to take this knot loose and tighten that. But other than that, it should fit fine. Let's put it on the other elastic. Since it's pulled a little tighter. Let's see, so I can show you a little bit better. It did the same thing. So once I tighten that elastic up, this is how it would fit. Okay. And then that's how it would look. Okie doke. So there's the insert or the folder, and then this is what it would look with the insert inside of it. So it covers it pretty well. That's why I add the little 1/4 inch extra to it so that it will cover the insert. Okay. You might want to add even more width to yours depending on how you want it, but those are the base measurements, and again, this is personal size. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, the unboxing and the how to make a folder for your traveler's notebook part of it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little gray bell so that you'll receive notification each time I upload a new video. Be sure to check the community tab and my stories for updates throughout the week. Also, check us out over at patreon.com/Scrapcraftastic for exclusive content and digital downloads. You can find me across social media at Scrapcraftastic. Visit my website and shop at Scrapcraftastic.com. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.